Let's talk about knee rehab. I had 2 arthroscopic knee surgeries on my right knee. Now, both of these were primarily due to events that were unplanned, could not have been prevented. And the surgery, it helped because it was necessary, all right? So here's what I need you to understand. Knee recovery has everything to do with the integrity of your joint. Let me say that again. The integrity of your joint. That needs to be understood. Not the strength of your muscles, not what you can demonstrate, the integrity of your joint. The ligaments, the tendons, the cartilage, the bones, the actual structure. That's the most important thing. Everything else after that, that's going to support the structure. So when I'm talking to you about rehab, you're watching me on this machine. It's an original Nordic Track. I have no affiliation with Nordic Track. I just use this because it's something that allows me to go forward and backward, sliding, using a hip flexor and a hip extensor, and also activating quadricep and a hamstring to do the work with limited impact on my feet, knees, hips, and back. Particularly useful in rehabilitation scenarios when you need to evenly distribute force. Water is the choice. That's where I did a majority of my rehab, water. Once I started going on land, pardon me, it was this. So let's talk about what you do to prepare your legs. Well, first thing you do is you have to perform an assessment. Is it really your joint? Is it really the knee? Or, you ready? Is it a series of trauma stored in muscles that's making your knee not operate in an optimal manner? Once you learn active release techniques, which are 2 and sometimes 3 joints simultaneously being moved and manipulated in a flow to release a joint. Once you learn these techniques and apply them to yourself, you may actually find that some of the knee pain that you think is knee pain, it's not actually knee pain. It's manifesting in the knee, but it's actually along other parts of the lower leg, usually in the calf muscle like the gastrocnemius. Or for me, I'll give you an example, in the upper leg, my vastus lateralis will store some energy. I'll just store it. And if I don't carefully attend to it, which is, stretch it, find the point of most pain, push down, stretch. If I don't take care of that, it'll make my knee feel like there's something wrong. Now, let's face it, I'm 46 years old. I'm a very physically literate human. I teach it for a living. I know what these things mean, so I'm not going to go running to the physician like, please, knee orthopedic surgeon, tell me what I should do for my knee. I know what to do for my knee. All the rehabilitation takes place in water. You want to make sure that you have structural integrity intact. If it's intact, walk in water, jog in water, gallop, skip, hop, leap, bound, jump a little, jump more, jump a lot, sprint, backpedal, swim. Use the water. Water is a huge key. Water is avoided in most physical therapy offices because imagine the slowdown in the money system for them if people had to go in and out of the pool, and how much money they would have to pay in insurance just to have a pool. Seriously, it's too much of a risk. They don't want any part of it. But what really works? Water. Let me tell you, I recovered from knee surgeries, a ridiculous 9-hour spine surgery that I can't even believe I even took part in, but I did because I had to. Whole bunch of stuff wrong here, whole bunch of stuff wrong here, but I'm making it right through daily habits. And there's a lot of things that I'm going to teach you about taking care of yourself, and water is the main key. You have to put yourself in that water environment because we are amphibious. We are not land creatures as we're acting. In utero, we're breathing amniotic fluid. We don't represent the mammalian genetics until they kick in. Those of you geneticists know exactly what I'm talking about. Those of you that don't, before your mammalian genetics kick in, which is what we know as human being, the reptilian set is being developed. The reptilian brain, that's when you can see the pictures in utero and you're like, wait, is that a... Yeah. But then the mammalian set kicks in, and then you can see that cellular development take place, and it completely transforms. I always go back to this, because as a teacher of health, as a teacher of basketball, as a doer of physical literacy, constantly looking for connections, things that stick. And in rehabilitation models, the models that are most effective use water. They make sure that structural integrity is intact. It's water. It's not weightlifting. It's not land activity. It's water. You gotta go back to that elemental. When you get on land, then you do on land what you did in water. Like behind me, you see the wolf, right? What does the wolf do? It hunts, stalks, it's careful, it's intelligent, communicates. It's always in a pack. Or if it's alone, not alone for long. Think about it. Everything is tactful. Everything is towards a goal. So your goal, taking care of your knee, is first avoiding things that people are advising you to do. Stop doing squats, stop doing leg extensions, stop doing leg curls, stop doing leg presses, stop doing everything that people are advising you to do. You don't need any more weight-bearing activity on a joint that needs rest. You need to learn how to stretch, active release massage, and I'll give you a trick. This is pretty good. Wherever the pain is, let's say it's in your right knee, go below the knee to the ankle with your thumb and feel around for the point of most pain. When you find it, push down. Then start extending and flexing your entire leg. See what you can get. Remember the spot. Now go above the knee and in between the hip. Same side, right side with the thumb. Feel on the outside. It's usually there. Point of most pain. Boom, got it? Okay. Push down on that spot. Then extend and flex the leg. See if you get anything. And by get anything, I mean release. Something that realigns the joint. Shifting movement. You know, for the first time, people bug out a little bit. Like, oh, what happened? Alignment. The older you get, the happier you are when these things happen. You'll know what I mean when you too hit older age. When you're younger, you're like, whoa, it shouldn't move. It's got to move. Wait till you start learning about the movable bones in your foot. It's like Jenga. Maybe I'll save that for another lesson. Going back to the knee. When you look at me on a piece of equipment like this, and you're like, hold on, Coach Lemanczyk, you could really choose any piece of equipment. You got all these other choices that people choose. And what are you doing here? Well, once again, low impact, sliding, hip flexor, hip extensor balance, the ability to hold on. I didn't discuss this. It goes on an incline. There's an upper body element if I choose to, but for rehabilitation, anything that evenly distributes the weight without compressing my spine and asking for that joint to do any more than it needs to do anyway, it's too much. I can walk, so me walking, being on this is actually easier than walking. It's less impact. And although I'm getting a workout, my body won't feel it like I feel when I'm walking around or doing some type of jogging or something like that. It's just the gravitational compression and just that constant up and down. I don't do thigh extensions. There's no leg extensions. And the reason why there's no leg extensions, there's no leg curls, is because there's swamp lunges. It's the biomechanic assessment tool. Replaces all of it. And I've been asked before, well, pardon me, coach, but what if you can't quite get into a swamp lunge? Pardon me. Here's the answer. The swamp lunge itself has been designed piece by piece. So whatever part of that lunge is the most difficult or is the challenge, that's the teacher right there. That's the part of the body that needs to be focused on right away. Right? If somebody in the initial phase, that lifting up of the leg, finds that the hip flexor is bothering them, and right away, what do? You ready? Relax. That's what we do. We work on the hip extensor. That's what we do. We don't do more hip flexor work. We don't overstretch an already triggered part of the body. Like, this has to be understood. Have to get out of the mindset, pardon me, that if something is bothering us, we just have to keep doing work until it stops bothering us. Like, that doesn't work. What we have to do is completely replace a broken paradigm with one that works. Use water, slide, get away from gravitational compression and added weight on joints that are compromised. Give yourself time to recover. I'm not a professional athlete anymore. Chances are you're probably not either. And if you are, take your time. Take your time. The way you recover now and the way you train going forward, it's going to determine the quality of your life. Not only active, but also sleeping. Think about that. Your ability to sleep is going to be determined on the way you train. And the biomechanics that you use when you train. This machine goes perfectly straight. I'm on skis. So even if I want to make erroneous patterns in my gait, it's not going to happen because I'm on skis. I'm on track. Nordic Track, right? Just another solid reason to use this machine. Again, I have no affiliation. It's just something that helps. I think another important thing with knee recovery here in the United States, and I'm going to do a podcast on this soon and be fairly elaborate about the process. What I did for my recovery from knee surgery is different from what they're taught in the standard of care in America. I didn't listen to the doctors here. I did what the team doctors over in Portugal taught me and did for other guys that I watched. And I'm gonna keep you in suspense a little bit. I'm not gonna tell you just yet. I'm gonna make you wait to the podcast. But this is what I will tell you. What I did for myself would drastically change the health of every single person who's getting knee surgery in America. Arthroscopy, any type of reconstruction. It just has to be done this way. You're going to see that there's a protocol and it's done for money. And then there's a way that you have to take care of yourself. And that's not done for money, but it's a front-end cost. It's a front-end cost that you have to pay a time investment to really learn your anatomy, and then the physiology, and then the reflexology of it all, to kind of really get a deeper understanding of what things are, what pain is, and then understanding that your nervous system has a memory of pain. This is wild. That means we can actually experience pain, and then, like let's say a week, a month, a couple months down the line, feel that pain again, and that might not actually be there. That might be a memory of the pain. Wild stuff. Every day we're finding out more about us. So this is why we have to collectively learn about us, share that information, so that we can collectively rise. There's a standard that's holding us down. It exists to put money in the hands of a lot of people that already have money. Listen, just like Jesus said, give Caesar unto what is Caesar's, right? Take it if you want it, right? It's yours. When it comes to my body, I'm going to show you how to take care of it. It's not their way. It's a different way. So stay tuned for awesome information about that. I think cardiovascular exercise is really important. The older you get, the more important it is. Because your heart pump, your heart and lungs, is the driving force in your body. You can do this. Just remember, this is a secondary work. Your primary work is your breath work. Your ability to draw in oxygen, use oxygen, not only as your vital energy, but a force, right? Learn about things like interthoracic power, a force. Air is not only a vital energy, it's a force. So let's focus on breathing as a force. Let's focus on movement as a way to heal the body. And let's keep it right there, man. Let's keep it right there. And you know what? I'm gonna probably stay here for, I don't know, an hour or two. You can't see, but looking at the ocean this way. And looking at the ocean every day does a lot. You have to look at water. It's something about it. I've always been drawn to the water. It's a healing thing. And I've always been fairly isolated too, and focused on task. I don't get involved in the nonsense. No entourage. Forget all that jazz. I got no time for that. It's just eye on the prize, real simple stuff, but complex efforts, and working in a way that, you know, the real will recognize it. I really don't care about the rest. You'll figure it out. Right? You can't help everybody. I know who I can help. And with that, hope you have a blessed day, everybody. I'm going to shut this down, turn around, and keep this going for some upper body integration. But I'll see you back here next time. Stay tuned for that podcast when I talk about my full knee rehabilitation and how I broke the paradigm completely, which basically means that you're going to have the knowledge to break the paradigm as well. Wild it back.